Alrighty. It's so windy and I can't make the wind go in a certain direction, but I just wanted to this is what happens when you have short hair all of a sudden. Like, it could look cool in some occasions, but today, because it's just so windy and I feel like sitting out here, it's like this. This is actually the best weather right now because usually it's pouring rain like crazy, like really, really pouring rain. And, it's not as bad as ice cold rain in the north, but it's still pretty annoying. Like, I like to be outside. I like to lie down and be in the sun a little bit, and this is just not good for it. This is Bogota weather. Anyway, so the point of this video is how to compete with the Jews. I've been seeing a lot of people on the internet talking about how the Jews own way too much stuff. And they own every single big corporation is owned by a Jew. Every single, not every single, but 90-something%. Every media outlet. And then on top of that, there's so many Jews working in those places. And Jews are, the statistic. Jews are a tiny fraction of whatever, yet they represent, 90% of big corporations and media outlets and this and that. And, people say that obviously, usually in a negative way, like, oh, they're stealing our jobs, they're stealing our companies. And, if you're saying that, it's probably why you're poor. Like, if you think like a company just existed and then a Jew took it over, that's probably why you're poor. I'm not laughing at you because that's how I would have thought or felt. I'm on this journey just like everybody else. I'm learning a lot that I didn't know even a year or 2 years ago about wealth, making money, and how things work. And yes, Jews are very overrepresented, and yes, Jews help other Jews, and yes, Jews are all very related to each other. It's a thing. It's a group of people that values wealth, values prosperity, making money. I don't, when I talk to my non-Jewish, particularly religious Christian friends, they don't have that value for wealth and money as much. In fact, a lot of people see it as evil. Like, they teach their kids that it's evil to go and try to make money, and they want their kids to be I don't know, not everybody, but a lot of people that I see, it's they want their kids to be poor, or they want their kids to be just wealthy enough to be able to survive. It just doesn't work that way, if you're teaching your kids to not pursue, it's just going to be really hard for them, and I don't know why you would do that to your kids. But anyway, Jews are a little bit less like that. They teach their kids, it's not even that they teach, as someone that grew up in the Jewish community, it's just very expensive to be Jewish, just because of all the rules and the lifestyle restrictions and the everything, even from having to live near a shul and be within walking distance to a shul, and how expensive real estate gets. It's just the lifestyle requires you to be wealthy, because you can't live in it otherwise. You're kind of from a young age conscious of that, and you're always kosher food is more expensive. Kosher, doing business within the Jewish community is more expensive, and people do it because there's a trust element. For example, if you're doing certain things in business, if you're giving portions of your company to somebody else, if you have employees working for you, if you're doing certain things to legally avoid taxes, such as income splitting, or buying properties in a foreign country, so many things that require deep trust, that really is the only the kind of trust that you can have with a family member. You can't have this kind of trust with some random person that you don't know, that's going to run off with your money and it's going to try to fuck you over. So Jews, because they're mostly related,
we, in the Jewish community in LA, I can tell you I'm mostly related to like almost everybody in the Orthodox Jewish community in LA in some far-fetched way, because there's that element of like everybody knows each other and knows each other's families and is like kind of accountable to each other. There's more trust and there's more likelihood that those people aren't going to screw you over, because it's really important when you're putting your whole life and purpose into building wealth that you're working with people that you trust that aren't gonna, try to screw you over. And so like that's I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, it's unfair that Jews are, overrepresented in certain industries, and they're helping each other out, and they're giving jobs to each other, and they're giving positions to each other. They're giving income and wealth to each other, but there's a lot more going on. For example, income splitting with people in your community that are lower income in exchange for certain things. On your end, you get to avoid paying certain taxes. On their end, you're lending them money to be able to do certain things. There's a leg up from being Jewish. Besides just having this like IQ and being taught how to make money from a young age, you just have a leg up from being in the community. That's just how it is. And so I feel you, people that say it's unfair, and you want, you can have that if you want. You can compete with that. You can try to regulate it, but as time and time shows again, history shows that most likely these regulations only contribute to the further success of the Jews and the people that are being regulated. For example, like California taxes and income splitting, or like the video that I showed you with Bogota yesterday, the Jews being forced to buy real estate because they couldn't leave the country or whatever, or like in the time of the Catholics and the Spanish Inquisition, right before the Spanish Inquisition, the reason why the Jews were like all the bankers and stuff, and all the Jews were getting into finance, because they weren't allowed to buy property. So like, oh, well, we'll do the one thing that we're able to do, the bad thing. The Catholics don't like money and lending, so we'll do that. And so the I get it, you're trying to like solve a problem, the Jews kind of dominating an industry, but you're kind of making it worse, don't you think? And so, and that's how the Jews became some of the most powerful people in the world of banking and lending. And because that was like the industry they were kind of backed into. And it's like, you can regulate and force all you want. At the end of the day, ooh, it's raining. I told you, it rains again. I hate this. At the end of the day, you have to compete. And the way to compete is, you adopt these tactics, you adopt these strategies. Observe Judaism, observe Jewish lifestyle. Observe what people do to be successful like that. And I'm not telling you that, Jews are this and that and perfect, and like, we're all human, and we're all, if you look at our genetics, we're probably all like really just the same. And if Jews were separate lizard species, then we wouldn't take up the look of our host countries. You know what I mean? Like if Jews were solely an ethnicity and not a religion, then if I moved to oh my god, it's really pouring. Hold on. I really don't like this weather. I really do not like Bogota weather. It drives me nuts. And I'm about to get wet. Okay. So what I'm saying is, alright, how to compete with the Jews. First of all, family, community, form a community of people. You can call them whatever you want. You call them the lizard people. Make it a family. Build family trust. Build a community based, and the purpose of your community can't be fighting with the Jews or fighting with the rich or fighting with this and that. The purpose of your community has to be wealth and prosperity. Wealth and prosperity and happiness and blessing. That has to be the purpose of your community. Do that. Have family. have kids, reproduce. Embrace going out and making money. Embrace family, like, kind of gender roles, you know? I mean, like, I hate to say this because as a girl, I like to have a career and make money and stuff like that. It makes me feel safe, but, like, you know, do both, you know? Kind of like, I feel like just at the end of the day, as a man, it's kind of your job. At least that's what Jews would tell you. It's kind of your job to provide for your family, and women are going to be eager to reproduce because they have a man providing for them financially. So start caring about these things, you know, study what Jews do, how they live. Things that you think are evil, such as tax evasion, legal tax evasion, and finding tricks to hack the system and make money and create value so that you can leverage it and make money. Maybe stop thinking that that's evil. You can still think that doing things that are illegal is bad, and you can still think that trying to screw people over is bad. That's not really sustainable long term. And of course there's people that screw people over, and that's not good. But most of the time, if a big huge company exists and the guy that owns it is Jewish, it didn't fall into his lap. Like, you know, your dad could give you $1 billion and it won't magically transform into a multinational corporation. Like, come on, you know what I mean? Create something, leverage it, make money, okay? Create something, leverage it, make money. And then maybe you'll be the person that people will be complaining, who made him in charge of this place? Like, you know, when it's like when landlords buy a bunch of real estate, and then you got these like lefties who, like, you know, have been renting for so long that they think that they own that house or that apartment unit, and they're like, who made him in charge? This is my house. Like, no, this isn't your house. It didn't just appear here. Like, this is somebody else's. If you want it to be yours, you can purchase it. You can pay that guy sufficient money for it to be yours, but most likely you don't want to pay $500,000 for that piece of property. So that's why you're renting, because you don't want to pay him for it, okay? Well, figure out a way to make it yours. Figure out a way to buy real estate. Figure out a way to build corporations, build things. And then maybe you'll be the guy at the top that people complain about and say, why does he have everything? And why is he giving all the jobs to his kids and his friends and family and stuff, you know? Because, like, it sucks. It sucks when your parents didn't, you know, give you a leg up. And a lot of Jews, parents give them a leg up, but even a lot of Jews, parents didn't give them a leg up, and a lot of Jews actually didn't even grow up in the Jewish community, and they're still somehow successful. There's a lot of factors. So instead of, you know, seeing yourself as a victim, because maybe you are a victim, but that is not going to help you. That's not gonna, like, thinking of yourself as a victim, like, even if you are maybe a victim, you know, maybe your life sucks. Maybe your life really sucks. And maybe nobody gave you opportunity. And maybe, in fact, you just haven't learned a single thing growing up, and nobody gave you opportunity, nobody gave you a penny. And you are actually, like, the biggest victim on the planet. But, like, thinking that is not gonna help you. You really have to change your mindset and become, like, wealth and prosperity focused. Get the Jew thing, get the nepotism, you know? Build families, build trust, build relationships that are very long term, that those people, you will someday be able to put your company in their name, or give them, you know, your wealth to hold or invest or grow and things like that. You know what I mean? Things that a lot of people don't have. A lot of people don't have, you know, relationships that they can trust, that they can leverage into money. And a lot of Jews have that, and the reason why is because they have these, like, really tight communities. It's like, build a community. Anyway, I don't even know if I'm making sense, but hopefully I was helpful in some way, giving, you know, light onto the world or whatever you call it, that you know, but I'm probably like way dumber than you, so enjoy the llamas, and I will see you guys in the next video.